Hey, Bobby Manning here. Welcome to the Garden Report. Celtics suffer their first loss of the postseason. A pretty emphatic loss to the Bucks, 101-89. We're brought to you by HelloFresh. Go to HelloFresh.com/playoff16. Get 16 free meals, 3 free gifts. We'll tell you more about it at the end. But first,
Such a good deal.
that was a wake-up call. If it was anything else for the Celtics. I mean, through garbage time, 9 two-pointers against that Bucks drop defense. Feistier perimeter play from Milwaukee than I think they expected, especially from Jrue Holiday. Jayson Tatum out of rhythm. Jaylen Brown 7 turnovers, and just a complete lack of paint touches from the Celtics. They end up settling for a million threes in this one. Hit a decent amount. But overall, you just saw a Milwaukee defense that was really able to disrupt what the Celtics offense was able to do in that Nets series.
I just feel like they just kept making them more accountable, right, throughout the second half. You saw the Celtics continue to take threes, even though some of them were open. That's exactly what the Bucks wanted the Celtics to do, and I felt like they just weren't aggressive enough in attacking. Now, moving ahead to Game 2, we're going to have to see what kind of adjustments they make, in terms of like trying to get some backdoor action, going. Guys like Marcus Smart, guys like Jaylen Brown getting to the hoop. It's got to be easier for him because at the end of the day, the way that they were defending Tatum, it reminded me so much of the way we saw the Celtics handle Durant, right? 2 guys constantly around him when he touches the ball, making him uncomfortable, but he was still effective, still finding ways to get other guys involved, still trying to be, still trying to boost that offense. And I feel like Jaylen's got to find his version of that. He's got to find a way to be productive for these guys because Tatum's getting more of the heat, in terms of the way these guys are defending the Celtics. And Jaylen's got to rise to the occasion. And from what he's been saying, after Game 1's loss, he seems pretty positive. Same thing for Jayson Tatum. So I'm not worried about those 2 guys and how they're going to respond in Game 2. But I am concerned about how the Bucks are forcing the Celtics to do things that Milwaukee wants them to do on offense.
Yeah, and jump shooting was going to be the key here. I don't think anyone looks at these 2 teams and says the Celtics are the better shooting team. They shot okay in the first round. Shot okay again tonight. I think they finished around 35-ish% from the field, 36 even. So, they were the better percentage team from 3. Right. So overall, it's about just turnovers, possession control. They ended up turning the ball over 18 times, which gives the Bucks ability to run out in transition that you just can't stop.
Right.
I mean, when Giannis and those guys get out in the
Downhill.
open court, it's open threes. Yep. It's easy Giannis finishes. They did a decent job on Giannis. In fact, the first half defense, the first quarter defense especially, was outstanding. Big lineups, both teams in their starting units. I felt like the Celtics were the bigger team. When it went smaller and both teams had multiple guards, one center out there, that's when the Bucks really took advantage.
Yeah, that was big. That's the advantage that they have coming into this one, right, Bobby? We talked about that, their second unit, and
even without Middleton.
I was just gonna say, even though Chris Middleton's out, guys are still making up for that production, offensively, and guys like Pat Connaughton, who I thought had a rough start, when he first checked in, but then he completely turned it around, 180. Grayson Allen, what was it, 5 3-pointers between the 2 of those guys? They're forcing the Celtics to take 50 3-pointers, and a lot of these shots were open, but it was just taking the Celtics out of their game, what they've been doing, especially in the postseason. Now, clearly, this is a much better defense in Milwaukee, in contrast to what they saw against the Nets. But they got to adjust here, and it's easy to fall into this kind of trap, right? The days off, people will point to, maybe they had too much days off, and they came into this one thinking it would be easier because of the way they handled the Brooklyn Nets. But that's just the way the playoffs are, And the one team that can speak to that is the defending champs in the Milwaukee Bucks, right? I mean, it wasn't an easy run for them. They faced a lot of adversity, so I do think that they do have that advantage, over the Celtics, but seeing how they respond in Game 2 is going to be crucial. I mean, for obvious reasons, you don't want to go down 2-0 heading back to Milwaukee, but also you want to send a message to Milwaukee. You want to show them that you can be just as physical, that you can meet them defensively. You can meet that challenge in Game 2. They have to come with that and that heart and that grit that got them here. Because the Milwaukee Bucks, you're feeling really good right now. I mean, the Celtics are the team with their backs against the wall, not the Bucks.
I mean, you throw a self alley-oop. They were trying to figure out what to call it in the Bucks press conference, but more than anything, that should have been a wake-up call. I
love Tatum's response to it when he was asked about it too. He was just like, "That's just a great play." Like, I don't know what to say about that. Like that was just the explanation point to what the game's how the game unfolded, especially in that fourth quarter.
You mentioned Jaylen. Jaylen wouldn't pin his struggles on the hamstring injury. Said he feels good. He'll get some treatment. Paused a little bit second time around.
Yeah, I was going to say, what
did
you think about that, Bobby, before I give you my answer? Because I sense that same hesitation.
It's obvious that it's playing some role here, and I think they're treating it. Again, this is something that lingers. It just doesn't go away one day. Yeah. But he climbed the ladder on that dunk. We saw that. That was an exceptional putback. he's himself to some degree.
Right.
He's just got to be better than this. And we've seen this from him at times. Where's he fit in? How can he play off Tatum when Tatum's getting swarmed? That's what he did so well against the Nets. Here tonight, not only was he not helpful in that regard, but he was a detriment when he over-dribbled and turned the ball over and got caught in the lane. It's the worst attributes of his game.
Yeah,
it is. It's tough to see when it just keeps creeping up again and again. Him getting stuck deep into the lane and just throwing the ball away, and that's the kind of thing that's devastating against the Bucks.
I just feel like the pain that he's going through is just something that he feels like comes with the territory. I also don't think he wants to use that as an excuse. I think he's confident in himself that he can still play to a particular level, even with the lingering injury like a hamstring, which is obviously a big one, especially for the kind of player that Jaylen is, who relies on his the way he attacks and the way he plays defense. So I do think there's something there, but I just don't think it's enough for him to say that this is going to hinder my performance. I really think he's blaming himself in his execution. It's not. It's less to do with his health.
Finally, Marcus Smart injured. Stinger, scary moment.
Yeah.
Oh, terrifying in that first half as things were really starting to get away from the Celtics there in the second quarter. He gets fouled in the lane, runs with the arm hanging. It reminded me of Kevin Love here, Game 4 in that 2015 series. Yep. Love ended up out for the playoffs.
Right. That was Brad's first playoff.
With the dislocation. So in the end, it's a stinger here. He came back looking all right, but was really out of sorts. We didn't talk to him post-game. Hopefully tomorrow at practice we will, and just see how that impacted him. But he's one of those guys in terms of getting to the spots and creating and cutting and all these different things that the Celtics need to do to crack open that Bucks defense.
Agreed.
He's crucial to that, and he just wasn't himself coming back off that. Rob, too, only 22 minutes. He got a major kick to the groin area.
Yeah, he did.
That knocked him out of the game for a few minutes.
I didn't see that in live time, so at first I was like, is that a groin injury? I was like, oh, no, he just got hit. Yeah,
no, it looked like a couple different things, but the Celtics were in a lot of pain here in this one. Post-game, talking about composure, felt like they lost it a little bit there in that fourth quarter when this got to 17 points. So you always worry about this team's resolve, not recently, but earlier in the year. For now, I'm not worried about it. Are you in the position where you think they can bounce back from something like this?
I am. I think that adversity comes with the territory, right? I mean, if this team is going to make that run to the NBA Finals, this isn't going to be easy. You surprised a lot of people, myself included, the way you handled the Brooklyn Nets. But with that being said, this is a different team you're dealing with here, right? They play defense at a different level. Giannis Antetokounmpo is a different caliber player than Kevin Durant. What I mean by that is what he's giving you on the defensive end. Like, you didn't see something like that.
That block was a moment on Tatum.
Like, you didn't see anyone like that realistically, right, in the first round. So this comes to the territory for the Celtics. I mean, this is the way they respond is going to really show their identity, in this moment right now, especially when you have to head back to Milwaukee this upcoming weekend, and that gap in between, right? There's 3-4 days in between. You have to punch back here, and you have to send that message for sure. And it's going to say a lot about this team's character for sure.
He's Josue Pavon. I'm Bobby Manning. Game 1 in the books, 101-89. Game 2 just 2 days away here on Tuesday. Celtics and Bucks getting back at it at TD Garden. HelloFresh.com. Big reason why we're here, why we'll be in Milwaukee for the series.
That meatloaf, though. I'm serious, Bobby. A few days ago, I made that.
You loved it.
I chefed that up myself. And, man, thank you to HelloFresh because you know how it is. The grind, the playoff grind, what we're doing right now, it's not always easy to run to the grocery store,
cook it tonight,
come back, and do the whole the routine that you're used to right now. It's a perfect time to mix it up, especially for guys like us. We have all the ingredients there for us, the meals, everything. You could do this thing during Celtics pregame if you want to. It takes no more than a half hour tops. And it's delicious on top of everything. Plus the ingredients, everything that they give you is right there. So
and this deal, 16 free meals, 3 free gifts. It's insane. HelloFresh.com/playoff16. HelloFresh.com/playoff16. We'll be back tomorrow with practice coverage. I think the Celtics are going to have a session tomorrow.
Practice?
Yeah.
Talking about practice.
We'll hear from some more players in the aftermath of this. Certainly a ton to iron out. So stay tuned to Celtics All Access for that. Of course, you see me down in Brighton with the wind blowing me away. You'll probably see it again tomorrow.
Mark's going to talk to you this time. He's going to be focused, which he should be. He should be focused, but that was pretty cool that he shouted you out, though.
All right, Celtics, Bucks, back at it. We will see you tomorrow.